going on, you guys? It's your girl Diana back at you with another YouTube video. Today I wanted to talk about obviously something I'm very passionate about based on my millions of plushies that are behind me and my giant stack of Pokemon cards that I've had in this binder since I was an actual child, and I have a bunch more in a Ziploc bag under my bed. But I wanted to talk about how to know if you have a card that's worth any money, because I figured it's probably something that's helpful, especially since I literally bought Pokemon Black 2 the other day and it was literally over $100. So obviously, the Pokemon franchise is doing very well right now, and you can get a lot of money for different retro games and, of course, different cards. So I was gonna go over the ways you could tell if your cards are worth a small fortune. So if you're interested in seeing if your Pokemon cards from your childhood that have been collecting dust under your bed are worth anything, then keep on watching. Purposes, I'm going to be using my handy dandy little Charizard card, and the first way to tell if your card is even rare whatsoever, if it's common or if it's kind of uncommon in between, is you are going to want to look at the very bottom corner. I think it's the left or right. It's the left-hand corner if you're looking at this one. So right over here, you're gonna see one of three little shapes. Please focus. There we go. You're gonna see either a circle, a diamond, or a star. If you look at the bottom of your card and you see a circle, that means that you have a common card. Now, that doesn't mean that your card's not worth anything. It just means that there was a lot of those cards in production. If you see a diamond, it means that it's an uncommon card, so less of those cards were made. And in this case, for Charizard here, he has a star. That means that this is a rare card, most likely due to the fact that this is a holographic card. The next way to tell if your card is somewhat of a rare card or something that could be worth a little more money is to look for that first edition stamp on the card. This card is a first edition Machamp. Obviously, he is still in his packaging, so he is in pristine condition here. I don't think he's worth a lot, unfortunately, but he is the best example that I have for a first edition card. Any of your cards that are a first edition, meaning this is the first set that was printed, when they came out with this card is going to have that little stamp on the side that says first edition. You cannot miss it. Another way you can see if you have somewhat of a rare card that could potentially give you some money is you want to look for a promo stamp. So please focus. So here is an Entei card that I have. If this would focus, thank you. If this would focus, so right here there's a little star that says promo. Oftentimes these are given out in events, tournaments, or in this case with Entei. In this case, this card was given out when the Pokemon the third movie came out, the one with Entei in it, which is why it says promo. So it's often associated with a movie release, an event, or even like a tournament. Another way to see if your cards could be worth a little bit more in value are if you have a Shadowless card versus a Shadowed card. Here I have two basically worthless cards. I have one of the 25th anniversary McDonald's cards and then just a random centric card here. But these are really good examples. As you can see, this one in the 25th anniversary edition has no shadow behind the square where the picture of the Pokemon is. Whereas this one here has a little shadow right behind that picture. So if you have an older card or maybe a rare card that is shadowless, like this Squirtle card that I have here, that usually means that it could be worth a lot more than say one that's shadowed, because the shadowing was added later on as a little artistic detail. These were the original ones without shadows. The next thing is pretty obvious, but obviously if you have a card that is in pristine condition versus a card that is in very lackluster condition, as in the case of my lovely Entei here that obviously has a bunch of dents and scratches, these ones are going to be worth a lot more if they're in original packaging, or even if they're not in original packaging but they're in really good shape. They look at things like if the corners are bent or if there are scratches on the holo cards, anything like that. So if the better condition your card is in, obviously the more it's going to be worth. And lastly, one of the other things that makes cards worth just a smidgen more, not always, but usually, is holographic cards. Like I mentioned earlier with my lovely Charizard here, holo cards are usually a little bit more rare than any other cards, which means if you have your hands on a holo that's in good condition, happens to be a first edition, and is rare, like it's a rare card in general, then you probably got a good chance of getting at least like $100 on it. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when it comes to these kinds of things, it is kind of hard in order to get a lot of money from them because you have to basically make sure they're in like pristine condition and they have to be really rare cards. For example, everyone's favorite card to gloat about, their holographic Charizard cards. This one here is not a first edition, however it is a shiny card and it is in pretty good condition since I have it in this little sleeve here, so it hasn't gotten any wear and tear. I looked up how much I could get for this on like eBay and a bunch of different like reseller sites, and this one can probably go for at most like $250, $300 for this guy over here. Whereas if this was a first edition holographic Charizard card in good condition, those go for thousands of dollars, which is ridiculous. But just goes to show you what happens when you combine like a rare card with a holographic, with a first edition, with pristine condition. You could definitely get a lot of money, and I'm sure everyone has heard about the crazy expensive Charizards that are going around out there. But there you have it. That is how you can see if you are sitting on a small fortune right under your bed. So let me know down below if you found this video helpful. Let me know if you guys have any good places to get your cards appraised, because maybe a girl wants to do that eventually, except I'm also very attached to all these. So I feel like I would never actually sell these ever, but let me know. Leave any comments, concerns, whatever down in the comment section, any other videos you want me to make, and I will see you guys in the next video.